at my institution are the highest or most important or highly extremely important resource that can help me achieve my vision or fail in my vision. So the people, take care of the people in your institution, prepare the people, equip them with the skills they need, with the competence, with the environment they need to act in a positive way. So also you need maybe tools, you need cash positions, you need a new culture, you need to make continuous improvement mentality, growth mindset in your institution. You need maybe new educational policies that align and serve your vision. You need more administrative policies. You need the new educational processes. You need to initiate new projects. You need more market share. You need networking expansion. You need many and many things. I have mentioned some here. Partnership development, you need learning and growth, professional development, stakeholders contribution, many. It's يعني, the list will never end, ladies and gentlemen. But now that you know your values, you know what are the things that you will never shift from. You will never budge from these three things. So at our education institution, we will never shift from giving academic excellence or reaching to academic excellence. We will never shift from the notion of equity and giving every learner the right to learn based on his needs, based on his abilities, and to scaffold on this, to build up on this, to make him a better learner, to equip him with the knowledge, with the skills needed to be a successful individual in the future. And you will never shift on the notion of collaboration. Now we need to see how much now after all of these, we need to see how we are positioned from our vision, from achieving our vision. So now it's time to do the SWOT analysis. When we say a SWOT analysis, we mean we need to make a close look to our strengths, to our weaknesses, to opportunities linked out there, to the threats that we might face in the journey of achieving our vision. And please, when we say strengths and weaknesses, please pay attention that these are within our organization. So these are internal factors. So we have four factors that may mainly play a role in achieving our vision. And here we are analyzing where are we positioned, where are what we wrote positioned from the real environment. So when we say strength, we look at the points that we are good at our institution. What do we do better than our competitors? What is our pluses? What are the things that will help us achieve our strategic goals, our intended vision? And when we say weaknesses, what are the points we need to improve also in our institution? And when we say opportunities and threats, here we are looking at outside our organization. What are opportunities linked out there? We can benefit from them. We will give examples. For example, a certain institution beside us doesn't serve students with special needs. This is a vacant area for us. We can open a certain part in our school or a certain department in our school to serve or to respond to these needs. So what are our chances in the future and what the obstacles that we're gonna face are? So then step four, let us take a recap. Step one was identifying your values, making your value statement out of your values. Step two, defining your mission and see that your values need to be somehow embedded in your mission because this is your brand and your vision statement also here your values also will be embedded in your vision statement or reflected in a broken down way in your vision statement. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to step 4, that is analysis, analyzing what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what opportunities you have out there so that you can capture them, capitalizing on your strengths, overcoming your weaknesses, etc. Let's see how we're gonna do this. Anyone wants to participate? Any questions, so on, so forth, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, so I proceed. So, when we speak about analysis, as we said, strength and weaknesses are internal factors in my institution. I look at these, and opportunities and threats are external factors. Now, we're in here, and the analyzing step, see that the weaknesses and the threats are red flags. I need to see. Some I need to ignore. Now we will see what we ignore, what we face, what we overcome, etc. And strength, for example, like for example, in my institution, I have abundant amount of cash. Okay, I have good cash, so I can make some improvements. I can invite people to make, for example, a professional development plan for my team, or curriculum redesign or something like that for at my school, something that aligns with some international standards. Can, for example, go seek some accreditation to give my, because we are seeking value, okay? Give my accreditation, international accreditation that will reflect in my leadership, it will reflect in my educational processes, and it will reflect even in the resources I am using at my school, etc. Suppose also you have qualified educators. This is a very big strength. Suppose you have updated technologies and resources. This is also a big strength that you need to be using. Suppose you have prestigious clients that you can, for example, benefit from as they can volunteer, for example, to do workshops for some students about for example, verbal speech management. I don't know, any topic you find that your environment needs. So, but you can engage parents. Okay, so they are educated people. You can engage them. This is a strength. Strong educational record. Suppose you have in your industry, you have a good reputation, you have background, you have history, you are known. So here I have given examples, whether you are doing this step or this analysis, this SWOT analysis, as first step or even as fourth step. Okay. So of course, if you are finding that you have strong educational record, then you are doing this as a first step SWOT analysis. Okay. So you have a good reputation, you have accreditation. So all these are strengths. So you need to capitalize these strengths. You need to make them even stronger, because this will make you more famous in the field, more famous in your industry. This will help you capture opportunities if you have some outreach, okay? And this will help you also overcome some weaknesses. Now, the opposite of these, the opposite of the strength on the internal level, sorry, you have the weaknesses. See that, for example, you might have a paucity of cash in your institution. You might find out that your educators need improvement. They are not as qualified, or they are not ready to go with me in this journey of achieving my vision. So here you have two choices. Either you start with the balanced scorecard that we spoke about earlier, with the learning and growth. So you prepare for them some professional development plan, you upskill their potentials, you develop them, you empower them. So you can add with this, you can add new recruitment uh, new recruitment at your institution based on the new needs, based on what you have to achieve in the coming years. Maybe you have lack of technological resources, so you need to ask yourself, what is the substitute? For example, now with artificial intelligence technologies that are outspread there, you have you have a potential to substitute any missing educational resources at school, because you only need the internet, and you can refer to some artificial intelligence technologies that will be a guide for teachers and for learners as well. Suppose you have ineffective employment at your school, for example, it's just filling gaps. So, and this is not serving in one of the schools that I have cooperated with earlier in order to make some enhancement in their educational processes and achieve a certain vision. We found out that a certain problem at the school, and a big problem at happening from the top of the school, the pyramid, the top pyramid of the school. It was that there was ineffective employment, that the processes where that we only need to fill the gap. And when I reviewed some CVs, I found out that, for example, a math teacher is teaching English, an English teacher is teaching history teacher is teaching art, and what is this? Oh, what is this? How can you imagine that in this ineffective employment you are gonna achieve your vision? You are not putting people in the right places. Put people based on your talents, put people based on what they can excel at, and see the results. Just see the result they can show you. And this institution was always suffering and saying, I have a lot of mistakes in my processes. How will I speak about development? And I have a problem in having things done right. Yeah, the problem starts from there. So the problem here, for example, started from the ineffective employment at the school. So my recommendation to the school was, at the very beginning, you need an HR department. This is what your school needs before delving into any strategic plan. So this is a very important point at schools, that employment needs to be effective. It's not about just filling a certain gap at an institution, but it's about everything. So maybe you have deficiency in professional development, so you can make a plan, and as we said, you upgrade the skills or the competencies, the professional competencies of your team. Now, these are the internal factors. Now that you have finished with analyzing and discovering and delving into your, of course, internal factors, you can discover even much more. Now it's time to look outside your organization, to find out what opportunities are laying out there. What can I capture? What can I do in order to have better services, in order to add value? For example, some I have listed as I was brainstorming for this presentation. For example, you have governmental support. The government is supporting your practices. You have, for example, some NGOs helping. You have free coaching internships. You have parental involvement. You have programs for students with different abilities served at other schools, as the example I said before. So this is an opportunity for you to open a department for this. Okay, so these are the opportunities that you can, by capitalizing your strengths, capture them. Some of the threats also that you might find out there. For example, you might have high competition, you might have financial instabilities in the country, lack of funds, you can have political instabilities like power struggles in the area, and all of these will affect your services. Like, for example, let us take a very near example that we have recently finished from or ended when we had the coronavirus, and how many schools found themselves at that point need to make a big shift in their internal processes from on-site learning to online learning. How many schools were not ready? How many schools were really ready? So for example, external factors. For example, here in Lebanon, we have faced some also political situations, some financial instabilities that affected the education sector here in Lebanon, and the schools faced this threat and treated with it, dealt with it, made, for example, some modifications in their salaries, made some modifications in the way they are delivering learning. So the schools found a way to come out of this with the minimum losses possible. For example, you have reduction of family incomes, like the example I gave you now. And this will say, for example, that you might lose some of your students. So how will you deal with this situation? Lack of parental contribution. For example, parents are not helping. You have divorce among students, families. You have neighborhood safety, problem in neighborhood safety. So there are many threats based on your location, based on all what's going in the school around you, everything. And of course, this can be minimized to the department level, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear, please say something that if you are at the departmental level, for example, you are a head of coordinators, or you are a department head, and you are conducting SWOT. You don't conduct a SWOT on the whole institution. In this case, you conduct a SWOT on your vision, on your. So, what are the things that strengthen or help you achieve your vision? What are the things, the opportunities that you can capture around you that will help you also achieve your vision? What are the weaknesses that you need to overcome? What are the threats? Now, if some threats are a big trap for you, you just don't need to fight these threats if they are a trap. Okay, because in this case, you will be trapped and you will not work to achieve your vision. So some threats you need just to wake away from. Okay, so based on the level of the threat, the level of weakness, how it affects you, all of these play a role in deciding what to start with first, what to leave, what to keep, what to capture, what to overcome, what to capitalize on. Then actually, ladies and gentlemen, after you finish all this analysis, the internal factor, you have discovered your internal factors, you have discovered your external factors. Now it's time to evaluate these factors across each other. How? Yeah, here I need to ask myself, now, how can I use my strength to capture some opportunities? So how will my strengths help me in finding out the opportunities out there and capturing them? How will they help me in overcoming the weaknesses I have? So it's very important to make not only analysis of the factors, it's important to study them even more or even deeper, and by making a certain cross evaluation for these factors. Okay, now we have finished step 4. We have seen how our vision is feasible. We have known what we can do. And here also, I want to say that if you are in service school, then analysis was your first step. Okay, it was step 1. You can do SWOT, you can do pastel, you can do many things. Then you will go into reviewing your vision, your mission and values. Maybe you add to them. Maybe also you add a new vision, because sometimes the old vision خلاص has been achieved. So we are now in a new vision. Okay. So, and then يعني بنكون عندنا نحن, we will have in this case step 1 analysis, then envisioning. Okay, now that you have made your analysis, you have envisioned, or made your analysis based on where you are and what you're gonna do. Now it's time to plan. Okay, now it's time for us to plan. Now we look at our strengths. Out of the strengths, out of capturing the opportunities, we put some strategic goals for our institution. And these goals will be measured against some balanced scorecards that I have mentioned earlier at the very beginning of this session. Okay, we make this measurement, and we will see how then we break down these strategic goals into some into some SMART objectives in the action plans. Researchers, some studies show that some institutions directly start by writing their strategic goal as measurable. They start to write their strategic goals as SMART. Okay, fine. It's important that they know where they are going and they can measure these against a balanced scorecard. Okay, as I told you from the very beginning, there's no one way of doing the right thing. There are many ways, but it's important to doing right. Okay, this is the point important. So now it's time to write your strategic goals, and I have adopted the approach of writing the strategic goals first as strategic, and then breaking them down into action plans. And I will show you example of this. And when we say smart, we mean, of course, most of you are educators, and you know now what we know by the term smart. Actually, by smart, we mean that as for specific, we know what the goal is, measurable. There are numbers there. I can measure what I want to achieve. Of course, achievable, not dreamable, realistic, time bound, and cost bound. Also now, not only time bound, it has to be also cost bound because cost is very important. It's actually at the top of my strategy map, I said, because times you put plans and plans and plans, and we found later on that, oh, we can't this thing because we don't have budget for the plan. Oh, what is this thing? So this is not adequate from the very beginning. We should consider what are the budgets that we need to implement or to invest in implementing this or that plan. Let me start by showing you an example of how of one way of writing your. I have anyone who is raising his hand to participate? Yeah, let me just look at the chat I have here. Okay, okay. So okay. So now let me show you one way of writing your strategic goal. Actually, you write it in a gerund form, but you will find some school writing it in an infinitive form. It's okay. We don't stop here. The point is that we need to write the strategic goal. And this is the point. Okay. So you use the gerund, you use the action verb, what you're gonna do, of and this is how we write the strategic goal. As you see, there are not measures. And if you have chosen to write your strategic goals in a smart way from the very beginning, and you are that you don't want to break them down later on into smart objectives, okay, you will add some measurable objectives like the ones we will see later on in the smart objectives to the strategic goals. Then you can adapt what serves your needs. So for example, a strategic goal that I have written here, enhancing, see that, the gerund form of the verb enhance, of the action verb enhance, enhancing the use of technology in educational settings of Cycle 3 educators or for Cycle 3 educators. So this is one of the strategic goals. Conducting interactive workshops on the utilization or implementation or integration or use of AI technologies as educational resources for teachers of Cycle 2. So that's how you shape your strategic goal. The action, what you're gonna do. Okay, the action verb, on what, among who. Okay, now suppose you have chosen to write your strategic goal smart from the very beginning. Then you will add, for example, to enhance or to let me take the workshop example because it's easier. So to conduct 3 interactive workshops on the utilization of AI technologies as educational resources for teachers of Cycle 2 as measured by. How will I measure whether these workshops have been effective or no? It's not that we have done the workshop and that's it. No, follow-up is very highly, extremely important. As measured by, for example, trainees' feedback on Google Forms, as measured by real implementation in the classroom, so classroom observations, and all should be there in the benefit of the learner, as measured also, for example, by learners' feedback or learners' learners improvement performance or improvement in their academic performance. Okay, so that's how we write our strategic goals. Hope we had more time. We would of course have made it interactive, and you took the time to write yours, and I will give you feedback, etc. However, this is actually my friend's workshop of 12 sessions of 12 hours, in fact, that I have summed it up in 2 hours. So excuse me if I'm running. Okay, so if you can run with me also, it will be great. If you can participate, I will be very happy. Okay, so now these are the strategic goals. Now we want to break these strategic goals down into SMART objectives, as we said, and please pay attention that this is in the action plan. So if you have decided to write strategic goals at the very beginning as measurable, as smart, okay, you write them in your strategic plan. However, if you have decided to write your strategic goals as general as I'm doing here, okay, then breaking them down into smart objectives is gonna be in the action plan, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how you can write your one of the ways you can write your measurable objectives, smart objectives. I remind you that S is for specific, M measurable, A achievable or attainable, R realistic, T time bound, and please add to it C, which is cost bound. It has to be cost bound. Okay, so you use the infinitive, like we want to do what? We want to conduct, for example. We want to, action verb, number of something, do what is the purpose, for who, and as measured by. And by this, let me say also that every strategic goal is broken down to many smart objectives, like 3 smart objectives, 4 smart objectives, 2 smart objectives, okay? Because if you have a strategic goal as that general, then how will you measure it? You need to check later on these small particles, these small projects that will tell you later on when you measure achievement or when you measure progress, will tell you that you have reached your strategic goal. Okay, so for example, here I have conduct 2 workshops on the implementation of gamma and efficacy. There we had, if I want to show you 2 slides before, there I had in the utilization of artificial intelligence technologies. Okay, then when I'm breaking down this strategic goal into more smart objectives in order to measure which achievement will tell me that I have attained this strategic goal, I will specify more. I said 2 workshops on what? On the implementation, okay, of what? I took two, for example, artificial intelligence technology platforms. I took Gamma for presentations. I took Flickr for movies and. Okay, I wanted to make Power 2 workshops in order to train teachers how to use these and implement these in their educational settings. Okay, so conduct 2 workshops on the implementation of Gamma and Flickr in educational settings. For who? Is it for all the school altogether? Is it that I'm gonna specify it for cycle 1 teachers? Is it that I'm gonna specify it for cycle 2, or I'm gonna go by subject, by department, by how? How are you gonna handle this? Okay, please here pay attention that we don't add. And I don't say for cycle 3 and 4 teachers unless they are in one event. But if I want to make them 2 events, one for cycle 3, one for cycle 4, then I write 2 objectives. Why? Because there might be that the workshop for cycle 4 teachers happened and no problems. Then something happened and a certain problem happened, as in Lebanon every now and then. Something happened, and the day the planned workshop is intended to be conducted. There was an off day, and you didn't conduct the day, and you didn't conduct the workshop plan. You will have that cycle 4 teachers are well dealing or effectively dealing with the what they have acquired in the workshop, but cycle 3 didn't. لأنه أنت, because you have checked, you have objective as achieved. Okay, you need to pay attention at this time that, oh no, you will find later, oh no, cycle 4 teachers, yes, did attend the workshop, did benefit from it, were able to implement, were able to transfer the skills that they have acquired to their learning settings. However, cycle 3 teachers didn't have the chance. Oh, we forgot it was an off day at that day, and blah blah blah. So that's why you need to specify, if you have two events, you are doing the objective, or conducting this in two different events, so write them in two different objectives. Okay, better. So conduct two workshops on the implementation of Gamma and Flicky, for example, in educational settings for cycle 4 teachers. Then how will I measure this? So we did many schools do workshops, take pictures on their Facebook platforms, on their Insta platforms, on I don't know where, for commercial purposes, for used as an ad, and here the story ends here. This is not effective. This is hardly effective. You need to follow up. You need to measure. We finished the workshop. Okay, how will we measure the quality of our workshop? How will we measure whether this learning and growth project did benefit the teachers? Because later on you will ask them to implement. So the first thing is to listen to their feedback. So as measured by trainees' feedback on Google Forms and classroom observation checklist, you will go in there, see in your mentoring process, see if teachers need help, or are they well applying what they have learned, or we have one area still there is a gap there, so I will support, etc. Okay, so the difference then, ladies and gentlemen, between writing the goal as strategic is that it's general. The strategic is bigger, is wider in scope, a broader scope. However, the smart objective is more definite, more into one event. Okay, and you will there will be numbers to be measured. There will be also feedback. So you need to follow up on from here. Now, if you decide to write your strategic goals as measurable, there will be somehow like the SMART objective. Okay. Now we have identified our values, we have defined our mission, we have defined our vision, we have made the SWOT analysis, and we have benefited from the SWOT analysis and projected it and used it in writing our strategic goals, or and the SMART objectives or SMART strategic goals. Or you have also conducted SWOT analysis if you are in service school, reviewed your values, reviewed your vision, your value statement, your mission statement, your vision statement, wrote or wow, a very beautiful, gorgeous, inspiring, everything, all the beautiful adjectives in the word. You have put them in a very beautiful strategic goal and SMART objectives, and everything beautiful papers. Oh, great. Many and many times we have this, but we come to implementation and we cross our head in the wall. Why? Because these strategic plans these strategic goals are not measured against the 4 perspectives that we have spoken about at the very, very beginning of our gathering. Now, you need to assess the visibility of your strategic goals. Suppose I don't have, for example, much cash in my school. I'm writing that I'm gonna conduct like 10 workshops at school, which require me to invite some people who need a lot of money in return to coming and visiting and follow up and blah blah blah. So that through the year, I wasn't able to implement this. So it was a strategic goal. It was a SMART objective. We applied everything step by step on paper, but we haven't taken consideration to the fact that we haven't paid attention to the fact that we don't have money to conduct this. So there should be a substitute. There shouldn't be this way, or it should be only one or two workshops. Okay, so you need, then after you have made your strategic goals and smart objectives, you need to assess the feasibility of your strategic goals. You need to measure them against the best scorecard. By this, you are checking whether your goals are in place. It's very important. It's very easy to now sit down, put a piece of paper, dream of some values, write mission, a very beautiful one, write a more beautiful vision, write awesome strategic goals, more awesome smart objectives that are not applicable. This is very easy. Everyone can do this. So we are not heroes if we do this. However, what we write on papers, what we consider as our plan, need to be in place. If we want these goals to come or become a reality, if we want this vision after we go out of this time travel pod a reality after 3 years, after 4 years, based on what you have built. So by this and by referring every objective of every strategic goal to be measured against the four perspectives of the balanced scorecard, you are checking whether all what you have written is applicable, can be achieved, is in place, or I need to modify. You might modify, okay? So the plan, as you are forming the plan, it's not something that, it's not sacred, it's not holy. You are creating this plan in order to serve you, in order to help you achieve your vision, okay? So you can, when you measure against this balanced scorecard and see that, oh, this strategic goal is broadened. It shouldn't be as such because there is a conflict with the financial perspective, for example. So you narrow it a little bit so that you achieve it the year that follows, achieve it more, and step by step. Here in Lebanon, I don't know if we have some Arabic people watching us, we say habba habba ya alam, which means step by step, ladies and gentlemen. You can achieve what you want, okay, as much slow as you go. But now, so we are discovering if our goals are in place from the four diverse perspectives that are important. And what are these four diverse perspectives? These are the financial perspective, the client perspective, in our case, is the learner and the parent. What is the service he wants? Suppose I'm a Catholic school opening in a Muslim area. All my learners will be Muslims, okay? And I want to teach Catholic religion at my school. But I simply can't. Though my identity in the market is a Catholic school. But my stakeholders, my clients, my learners, and their parents will not accept this. Okay, so here you have to go into two choices. Either they sign something that they accept this kind of teaching because they are learning some good things for their behavior, and that's it. This is it. So they will sign that they accept, or they will, for example, apologize and go find another school that aligns more with their beliefs and etc. Okay, so also you need to measure your strategic goals against the internal processes. Now, if you want to achieve this value that we put at the very beginning, whether it's financial value, ethical value, academic value, any value, if you want to achieve this value, if you want to achieve this vision, if you want to achieve these, what internal processes I should modify in my service? What are the things that I need to change? What are the things that it's not effective to go the old way again? What are the things I can keep? So you have to measure this regarding the or against the internal processes at your institution. And of course, if you want to make these changes into your internal processes so that they fit more into the quality that you are creating in the market, You need to go into some learning and growth. Even you need to educate yourself, you need to educate your team, you need to maybe make new recruitment, etc. Okay, so these are the four balanced perspectives that you need to or we need to measure our strategic goals against. Now, how is this done? Now, this is the template, sorry, of how you measure, and this is the balanced part, ladies and gentlemen. Later we will see the scorecard. So why is it called balanced scorecard? It's because it's every strategic goal is measured, is evaluated against these four perspectives. So it has to be balanced in with respect to these four perspectives. So if I put a strategic goal, it shouldn't go in conflict with the financial part, or in the client aspect with respect to my students or their parents, or it shouldn't have a problem in learning and growth. Suppose also I would give an example from real life. The schools that I have worked with, also for the same purpose, we were working on educational development plan, and of course the educational development plan needs more internal needs different internal processes to be conducted at school. And of course this requires that we go into a heavy and an intensive professional development plan for teachers. And there we found out that teachers are not willing to work. They don't want, they just don't want, they just don't care, since they are taking the same salaries. So here it was one of the mistakes. For example, after that, I decided that at this school, because if you remember at the very beginning of the session, I introduced myself as a student who always learns from anything that he or she that I find in front of me. So from this situation, I find out that I should have made something which we call plan to plan. Before going into the plan, I should have made questionnaires and distributed the questionnaires among the team members. If they are willing to grow, they don't want to grow. They want to stay in their comfort zone, and the school alone and the school leader alone want this growth. So here, actually, after this, it was that we made the plan, we made everything. We made the first workshop, we made the second workshop, and khalas, we were forced to stop there. And we decided to stop there because the environment was not ready. The team was not ready. So readiness is very important when you want to go into the learning and growth journey for your employees, for your team, for your people, because this is people are the first factor that help you in. People and environment are the two important factors that help you in most in achieving your vision. So, and that's why I suggest that if you want to go into such a strategic plan or any improvement plan for any institution now or later on, whether at the departmental level or any level, to make a plan to plan questionnaire, make a plan to plan survey, check water, test water, see, are people ready? Is the environment ready? If the answer is yes, okay, go on. If the answer is no, then you need to go into some smart mentoring to see how this change that you are coming with will be managed by you, and this needs somehow a smart skill. So now back to measuring our strategic goals against our scorecard, balance scorecard. So in order to you ask yourself for the financial part to succeed financially, how should we appear to our shareholders? Okay, we need to give the shareholder, the funder, the value he wants. We want to increase, to make an increase in the profit, for example. Or we need to show him a certain value, academic value, educational value. Okay, we are the first in our PISA results, for example, or in our TIMS result, or in our SAT, or at university level, if you are a pharmacy faculty, in our colloquium, our students are the first. So based on the value you want, okay? How should you appear to your shareholder in order to succeed financially, in order to say that this person is achieving the role? How should it be? Also, the second thing you need to assess, you need your strategic value against is the learner himself. How will you satisfy him? How will you give the learner, the student or their parents, if at the school level, the kind of service they want? Okay, you need to satisfy them because they are the people who are affecting your processes at school. How will you show that you will excel? So, what kind of service they want? Also, you identify, will my parents, will my stakeholders be happy if I make for them differentiated instruction, or will this be more a burden on the parents' shoulders? If yes, if it's a burden, you might not quit. You might, for example, for example, invite the parents of these students to the school. You explain for them how you're going with your curriculum. You explain for them what special thing you're doing for their kids, etc. So you do some tasks in order to overcome if this is a problem. So you add to the goal. Okay, so you not just only write your goal and this is it. This is my goal. I go, I walk, I see nothing behind me, I see nothing in front of me, I go by book. No, it's not the case. When you go by book, you fail. So you need always and always and always to test waters, always and always. Okay. So you see, actually, I advise you also to, in your assessment process, in your evaluation process, use surveys, use questionnaires, make interviews, see what the people need. Okay, what makes them happy, what makes them satisfied, what's best for them, etc. Okay, now in order to give the shareholders this financial value they want and or this reputation they want also, or and in order to give my learners, their parents, the quality service that they need, I need to make some changes in my processes. So I just list down, do my strategic goals, help me do my internal processes, internal education processes, help me achieve this vision. If I do this, will I, for example, in my vision, I have that I'm preparing 21st century learner, because this is a cliche word nowadays. 21st century learner for the future. I'm preparing him for the future. Okay. But we look at the school, we visit one of the classes, we see that everything there is traditional. Guys, how are you preparing this learner to the 21st century? What collaboration are you making? What critical thinking are you making? Where is the creativity in your educational practices? Where is collaboration? Where is digital illiterate, etc., 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 etc.? You have many whys, you have many question marks. Okay, so whenever you write anything in your vision, it's not just something written. You are responsible for the letter. You are responsible for every word you write in your vision, because every word there should be seen in your internal educational processes. Otherwise, I can tell you, you are writing this in your vision. However, this is not reflected in your service. This is not reflected in how my kids are learning at school. You get the point? So it's all a whole kid process. It's a series. You can't just ignore any part. Okay. And in order to give the learners the quality service they need, and their parents the quality service they need, in order to give the shareholder the financial value he needs, in order to make these changes in my internal processes, now what should I change in my learning and growth plan, in my professional development plan? I need to educate, empower my team, the people around me, in order to give me, see the errors. Okay, it's interrelated process. Okay, see the errors, please. See how learn in order to give the processes that people need. You need to go or undergo some learning and growth projects, practices, procedures at your school in order to satisfy the client or the learner, you need to make some changes in your learning practices. So also back to learning and growth. So see that when we were planning, we went up bottom. But when we are implementing, we are going bottom. Okay, so think of it this way, please. Think of it that when I'm planning, I started with my shareholders, what they want. I started with my clients. I started with the values, the mission, the vision, strategic goals, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now when I go to the implementation, I need to start from the bottom, and I can't hold my vision and go. Though it's very good and always advised to share your vision with your team because they know why you are doing this, why you are not doing that. We come now to this in the execution step. Okay, so you start from professional development. This will be reflected in your internal education processes, so this will be measured. Yani you will after the you will measure the internal processes if they are responding to what kind of professional development you are giving or no. Okay, now these internal processes will give different feedback from parents' side, from the academic record of the student, etc. Now, now you have more students satisfied at your school, and this will make a new word of mouth. This is in itself a new ad. So you don't need to just make a workshop, take pictures, put it as an ad. No, you don't need this. Your real service is the real ad. The value in your service is the real ad. Now that customers are satisfied, clients are happy, learners are learning everything quite well, they feel that all what they have paid is paying off, etc. Now you have your reputation is growing. Okay, you have your value, your brand in the market. Okay, more clients will come to you, more students will come to you, and this will of course help you grow financially. See that all of this is one unit thing. So you measure these strategic goals against these four things, the four balanced things, and when the answer is yes for all, you then the strategic goal is in place. If the answer is no at any place, then for example, you ask yourself, why is it no? How can I turn this no to yes? How I can make this strategic goal applicable? Maybe I narrow it, maybe I, so that it doesn't make a conflict or create a conflict with my internal business processes or financial perspective, etc. Okay, so you find solutions. It's not that you quit the strategic goal. However, you modify, you adapt it, okay, to fit into this balanced scorecard. Now, the balanced scorecard, that's how it looks. Ladies and gentlemen, see that you have, for example, and see that colors are based on what we have explained before, okay? So you have the objectives up there. Where's the arrow here? Okay. You have the objectives up there. You have the KPIs, and by KPIs, you mean key performance indicators. And how do you decide your key performance indicator? This is a mercy for you. A key performance indicator, for example, let me give you a short example. For example, last year, if we are in service school, last year we conducted 5 workshops on different educational teaching strategy, different teaching strategies. Okay. Now this year, because we are in a continuous improvement journey, we are planning to make some, okay, or 8. Suppose that by the end of the year, I have many factors that played a role, and instead of making 8, I made 7 or 6. This number 6 or 7 is higher than the number that of workshops that I conducted last year. So then KPI is your objective in its minimum. Okay, so you don't be hard on yourself and say, oh no, my plan is I don't know, it's not working, I didn't conduct the 8 workshop. No, it's okay, relax, my dear, relax. Okay, you didn't conduct 8 workshops. That's right, but you conducted 6. You conducted 7, which is higher than the previous year. So KPI then in this case, you look at the KPI, not at the objective. If what you have conducted meets the KPI, then it's okay. Okay, so you achieved the goal or the objective in its minimum amount, which is higher than last year. Okay, then the targets, the initiatives, the tasks that should be done, and for objective of these strategic objectives, you fill in here. I will show you a fill template. Before yeah, let me show you, but then for example, this is a fill template. Okay, suppose this is a field template. We have stakeholders. I will take one theme. For example, for learning and teaching. Okay, can you see? If you can see the green here, create an environment for the best academic staff. You see how you have the percentages, the KPIs, you have the satisfaction level, the academic level. So every one of these, okay, you have, for example, here employment rate, to be well prepared for future challenges. So all these come from, where is it? From the stakeholders' interest, the first theme. The stakeholders' interest, you are looking for affordability, participation rate, funding, donations. Now, these two together require from you to look at the learning and teaching practices that you are doing. Then also these require you to look at the internal services you are performing at your school, then at the community, etc., etc., and you go down in this balance scorecard. This is concerning the balance. Let me explain for you what is concerning the scorecard. So concerning the balance, we look at the 4 perspectives. Concerning the scorecard now, that every goal needs to be measured against a certain metrics, which is the KPI, okay? Against a certain metrics, a certain measurement that will tell you that you have achieved the goal or not achieved the goal in its minimum or as is. Okay, so now after doing all of these, guys, your strategic plan might look, you might adopt this approach, you might find another approach, but if you are willing to go into this balance scorecard thing, which is not mandatory, by the way, in strategic planning, but most organizations that conduct this approach reflect later on that they had better results, okay? And easier goal achievements. See now that your strategic map will look somehow like this. In the financial level, for example, you have maximized shareholder value. And on the learner level, you have exceed customer expectations, inspire loyalty. You need to achieve these. In order to achieve this, you need different internal educational processes. You need to create quality partnership, maximize effectiveness of my educational practices, and create high quality services in this case, in education, okay? In order to do this, you need either to recruit quality staff or you need to train employees. So we go from down to achieve our vision. Now we are done with the step 6. And here also is another example. Maybe if the team shares with you the presentation, you can have a look on it in the details. Also, this is a school example. Now we come to step 7, which is the execution step. Plan execution and continuous assessment. Always and always, we need continuous ongoing feedback, continuous assessment for what is going there. So now that you have finished your strategic plan, goals need to be assigned, projects need to be initiated on the small pieces of your strategic plan. And here you need to pay attention that with your strategic plan, you are calling for a big change. And you need to be aware somehow and empathetic to the fact that people resist change. In all organizations, in most organizations, change is resisted. People don't like change. They are accustomed on doing the things they are doing it. And you will find maybe very few people who are not resisting to this change. And here it's very important to go into a smart mentoring, to go slowly with the team, to explain for them. And we suggest that you might use in the execution process this matrix or this model, which is the RACI model, in which you explain for the team that you are responsible at a certain level, you are accountable, and they are accountable with you to achieve these strategic goals in front of the leader, in front of the school, in front of who you are, who is your employer. Okay, so who are the people responsible for the projects initiated, who is accountable, and who should be consulted, and who needs to be informed. Also, you put so that everyone knows his task. There's no conflicts in who will do what and these things. And this is by doing this and by applying this, you will have made or developed your strategic plan and started your execution. The execution of your plan here, the big advice for you is to go into smart mentoring in order to equip the team that is with you. See, equipment is a very important word. You equip them, you take them, you understand them, you listen to their fears, you so that they can go with you with your plan. And by this, I have finished all what I want to share with you concerning the strategic planning at educational institutions. And if you want to share with me anything, you are welcome. And I like to actually, I was very happy to share this this bit of knowledge with you. I hope you have benefited from it or reminded you of something or put you on a certain track of maybe what you're going to plan later on, mainly that you are coming to a new year. And thank you for IIU. Thank you for Mrs. Maha Shhadeh for giving me this platform. And see you, inshallah, later. Thank you all.